Good morning and welcome to Candid Conversations with me, Linda Burhans. And today we have a good friend of mine, Lisa Seward, with us. And she's going to talk about some healthy steps for self care and self love. So, Lisa, I'm so glad you're here today. Can you please tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
I'm a licensed massage. I'm a licensed massage therapist, and I specialize in body talk and energy medicine techniques that help bring balance back to the body, mind, and spirit. Um, and my background is I was injured as a child through trauma, through a heart catheterization, a procedure. They don't do that way anymore. It's too traumatic. And then
Thank God.
25 years later, I have a 4-car accident. And the same pain I had when I was 12 occurred in this accident. When I pressed on the sternum, I felt my sternum rip, tear to the right side of my body, and the same pain. When I was 12, they said, "How do you deal with that pain?" They said, "Hold your breath. We're going to pull the catheters out, and you're awake through the procedure. You're 12 years old, and you're the good little girl." So just imagine that experience.
Right.
And then when I had the one when I was 12, I pressed on my sternum, it ripped, and I knew that holding your breath didn't work. So I just cried silent tears.
Oh,
And so that pain was so excruciating. But thankfully, I had a car accident 2 months earlier, and they did a baseline. And so they were able to tell me that it was even improved during that session. But when I had that car accident, this last one, I called an angel in. And I'm sure that's why I didn't die. So it was really an amazing experience for me that I could be saved, and my purpose here on earth did not leave.
exactly. You still have things to do, evidently.
Obviously, I didn't die that day, and you just miracles are always available to us.
So, why is it important to have body, mind, and self care routines in place for ourselves?
Well, when we get stressed, we have to learn how to cope. And if we do not know how to cope, we don't move forward. If I never learned anything about massage therapy, I would still be back in my hometown not knowing how to function after that trauma. But thankfully, I was able to listen, and it told me it's time to move away from New York State. It's time to go to Florida. But because I came from a family that didn't touch me or say, "I love you," I didn't even know I was missing these things.
Mm.
I didn't even know that I needed touch. And then when I got to massage school, the big wake up call was I didn't know how to relax. I was the most stressed person in massage school.
Because you weren't used to it.
I didn't know what it was about.
Wow. Wow. Yes,
So
touch
they
is so very important.
so when I had 3 months of massage every day, because I went to massage school, I still didn't know how to turn my brain off, which is so important to knowing how to heal.
Right.
And then I was fortunate. One of the classmates said, "You need to get a massage by 5 people." So 5 people worked on me at one time. And by the time the fourth person was working on me all at the same time, my brain turned off and I could fall asleep on the table.
Oh my goodness.
So that was the first time in my life I could ever turn it off 4 months into the program. It's a 6-month program. So
Wow.
it was really a wake up call for me. And it was starting my healing journey.
Wow.
And when we use a body mind technique, what I've learned later on in my life, because you learn one technique and then you keep advancing because your body will tell you what the next step is if you're listening to it. And after that car accident, I was able to work with a practitioner who did body talk. And when I had that car accident, I had memory issues, I had amnesia, I lost the ability to dance. I didn't have those skills that I needed to be functional later on in my life. So when I started using body talk and when I took my first class, I also had cosmetic surgery when I was 12. I was born with a deformity, and they took my 30 years of scar tissue and dissolved it in 5 minutes without pain.
Oh
And
my
as a,
goodness.
and as a massage therapist, that's really rare because usually they have to use really deep tissue. It hurts our hands. We have to work really deep into an area. But when you can feel everything release in a short period of time, that's a miracle for me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I don't have to go through trauma to experience it.
Oh, and it's a miracle for the people that witness it.
Right. So I was so exciting to have that opportunity to relax and feel grounded in a way I had never felt before. And so I knew in my heart that this was my modality, that I needed to work this level. And those people who want my work will be drawn to that because they
Right.
want something more than what they're getting over here.
Right.
Because Western medicine gives you a choice. They give you a diagnosis. They give you, we can give you drugs or we can cut it out. But when you look at the work I do, it's the whole body, the whole person. We work on every aspect, and we work with different ideas, from Chinese medicine to chiropractic to yoga to quantum physics. We work with a lot of different ideas so that it brings balance back to the body mind.
So what is the Cortices technique?
The Cortices technique is a wonderful technique because the benefit of it is it helps bring balance to the occipital lobe, the parietal lobe, the prefrontal cortex, and now I went blank. Of course, that's called stress. Okay. And it brings all the four cortices into alignment.
Okay.
And our temporal lobe. So it brings all the different parts of our cortex in balance. So when we see, when we hear, when we listen, and it works on, when we bring balance to our cortices, it takes us out of fight and flight. So immediately, if we can do these, even before you're doing a big, like today, before I came on, I did the Cortices technique because I had a little stress. So it helps brain function and mental clarity. It improves your communication between your left and right hemispheres of your brain, increases the sense of relaxation and well-being, helps your body mind process and manage stress. Oh my gosh. And it's so
how is it done? How is it done actually?
Let's do it. I can do it first and then I'll have you do it.
Okay.
Just watch me. And then you can learn from this. You take your hand, the width of your hand, and place it in the back of your head. Then you tap your head, and you want to make sure you're getting your left and your right hemisphere as your brain. So if you stick your finger in the middle, you get both sides at the same time.
Okay.
And you're taking deep breaths. And now you're tapping your heart, which is your breast in between your chest there, your breastbone. And then you tap your belly button. Because we have three brains. We have a head, we have a heart, and then we have a gut. And they do a lot of things to help us function every day.
Right.
Now you move your hand one width up.
Okay.
And repeat the same thing. And breathe in. Now, you might notice me yawning. Just know that happened after my 4-car accident. And I yawn a lot, but guess what? It happens to other people. You might start yawning. Allow it.
Yeah.
Allow it because your body's shifting. It's feeling a change. We allow that. And the higher your vibration in your body, the healthier you are.
Well, when you're in balance, you can heal.
Right.
You know, we have to get ourselves in balance before our body, and the body is such an amazing vessel. I mean.
So now we're going to bring it up again. Bring it up. And then do your forehead. And now we have to think about linking our left and our right hemispheres. Our brain is above your ears. And you're going to think about linking your left and right hemispheres of your brain together. Then you're going to tap your head, heart, and gut. And repeat. Thinking about linking your left and right hemisphere of your brain together. Tap your head, your heart, and your gut. And what differences do you feel?
Relaxed. And I think and this, one of the most important part is to remember the breathing.
Yes.
It's funny, we cannot live without breathing, but we have to be reminded to breathe, or to breathe properly.
Yes, it's a very important step in knowing how to relax.
Yeah. And it's so non-invasive. and drug free, because we're just taking too many drugs. There's too many drugs out there. There's too much going on with that. You listen to those commercials. Who would want to take any of it when they just start talking about side effects? Don't take it if you're allergic. Well, how do you know if you're allergic if you never took it? It's
And
crazy.
I love this because guess what? Who is in charge? You are in charge. You have the choice to want to be in self-love and self-care or not. Do you want your cup to be half full or half empty? It's all up to the individual if they really want wellness. And would you like to know some of the wonderful benefits why this technique works so well too? Even nurses have done this on coma patients, and the next day they wake up because we're stimulating the brain. Isn't that amazing? Or we're helping memory come back because we're stimulating it. You know, how often do we not even tap our heads? We don't even know it's good for us.
Right.
So,
I had part of my conference a couple of weeks ago. We had a whole session on emotional freedom technique tapping. It's all good stuff. It's so important that we pay attention to this.
Right, because there are many systems in the body that the body talk works with. Every system in the body helps bring balance to the body, the mind, the soul, the spirit. It works on the emotional, the mental, the physical, and the spiritual. If it needs to be, that's what it is. And we listen to what your body, mind wants us to balance.
Yeah.
This is just one technique of many. And this type of work goes on to the third world countries. They work in orphanages, work with children. They also work. I was a caregiver for 8 years, and I worked on my relatives with it, and their memory came back. I mean, and they didn't ever think that doctor said that's impossible. I said, well, he knows your name. And every time he would come to the appointment, he would know his name and he would think about it and he would know. So never give up and thinking there's not a solution for something. You don't know until you try. And it's the journey, I suppose.
Yes. So Lisa, you're also a poet, right?
I am.
Tell me a little bit about that. I'd like to hear one of your poems if you would like to share with us.
Sure. Interestingly, I sang my first poem when I met you back in 2004. And it's amazing because once your brain starts linking up, it starts to function like you never knew possible. And that song I wrote in 2004, it's called the Body Talk Rap. Body talk, body talk. Let me listen to your body talk, holistic by design. A new paradigm for our time to help our bodies heal. One's body, mind. Body talk, body talk. A new way to live our lives. Holistic in design helps us to communicate within the body, mind. Makes our body shine with energy, light, and to be redefined. Innate wisdom speaks its mind. There's no lying. Energy is thoughts and action, pure healing vibration. Holistic, safe, effective balance. Walk into my world, experience total wellness.
Lisa, you should sing that every single time you go to a networking thing.
They only give me 30 seconds. It's a 45-second thing. So
we're going to have to do something, or just ask for extra 15 seconds. I'll give you 15 seconds of my time next time.
Okay, thank you. We can work that out.
Yeah. So, what is your biggest advice? What is the thing you want my caregivers to hear most today? Not just my caregivers, all my listeners.
Never give up. Be positive. Get help if you need it or want it, because this work cannot only be done in person. The research proves it that it can be done distantly. So anyone who is at home who doesn't want to leave their house because they're caregiving, or they just don't feel like leaving the house because it's not safe, they don't have to suffer. They can call on me and I can help them, because the research that they did for Body Talk for distance sessions, it worked on a peer group review, and it was placed in the Journal of Pain Management. And you have to be asked to be placed in this journal. And it helped with depression, chronic pain, and anxiety. So if you can have a simple way of feeling better, would you want it? And would you allow yourself to heal?
Right.
Or is your pain too much that you don't think anyone can help? You
Well,
have to choose.
I think unfortunately sometimes people get used to their pain.
Right.
So they don't really even know they're like, they just know, I don't know. They just kind of get used to it.
Well, it is a good friend. You know, it will nurture you. It will give you what you need. Or, you know, I've asked people in the past, would you like the answer to healing? And they said, no. I'm like, okay. You know, I can only help people who want to get well. So if you're on that journey, those are the people I want to see, because they really want to get out of this place where they feel pain and they want to move on to something more positive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think for me, I've always committed to the journey, whatever it took. I think a commitment to yourself is really a higher thing. It's like we're all climbing a mountain in life. And what do you want to say when you get to the top of it? Do you want to say, I did it? Yes. And I want to tell you, this work has changed my life. Yeah. You know, I used to be all hunched over, couldn't even stand up straight. And today I'm the tallest and the straightest ever. And if it happened for me, maybe it could happen for you. But, you know, I don't just do one modality. I integrate. And as a massage therapist, I do combination therapy together, because the body heals faster using more than one technique at one time. So, and I'm a therapist for over 30 years, a massage therapist, and I've been doing body talk since 1999.
So Lisa, where can our listeners find you? I'm
located in Dunedin, within the building of Stillwater, Florida. Yeah, Dunedin, Florida. And I'm located in Stillwater Wellness. My name of my business is Wellness Options, 4, letter U.com. Well, LLC. Yeah. The website is.
I'll put the information in the box too, so that people have it.
Great.
And if people, we have a lot of listeners that aren't in Florida. Is there a place where they can look up in their states how to find someone that does body talk, or they could do remote, or they could do remote with you?
Yeah, they could. I would love to do that with people. I see a lot of people like that.
Well, especially today too, because a lot of people just are fearful of leaving their homes, and lots of times too with caregivers, especially, they just can't. They're caring for someone.
And see, I was a caregiver back in the day, and I had my friends work on me. It's the only way I got through it all, because I was the only one doing it with 2 relatives at different time frames. But knowing there is so much pain that you carry on your shoulders, all the responsibility. Yeah. And if you're not taking care of yourself, who will? Right. Who's going to take care of you? If you can't take care of that next thing that needs to be done, who's going to help you? Right. If you can't help yourself. We have to kind of pull ourselves up first and put ourselves on top of the totem pole, and then we can have others help us, because it is a hard job. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. Is there any last words you want to give our listeners?
Be gentle with yourself. Listen to yourself. Hug. And be glad that you made it through another day.
Yeah. And my last words for today is, go take a little walk outside, even if it's chilly. Just smell the fresh air. Just look at the beautiful nature, because that makes a big difference in your life too. Thank you, my friend. Have a delicious day. We'll talk soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.